Welcome to the Monday stream. Wait, is it Monday? No, it's definitely Tuesday. Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday morning. Hey, Political Talks. Hey, Choke. How's it going? I totally knew it was Tuesday, by the way. Mama Media, how's it going? Alright, let me just move over here. Okay, perfect. Morning, Hambliss. How's it going? Pretty good. Hoping for better weather today. Are you expecting tornadoes? Are you expecting tornadoes? Oops. Oh, oops, sorry guys. Hold on, let me bring up some of these articles. I actually accidentally put them on the incorrect. Okay. This one seems like an interesting one here. Let me... Ooh. Thunderstorms in my area and I have to run in a track meet. Yikes. Well, take care of yourself, friend. Okay. So, we definitely have quite the amount of headlines to go through. Let me make sure I have everything queued up here. Oh, so just as a quick wrap up to yesterday's story that Chai Bureaucrat sent me about the man who apparently ran his vehicle into a picnic. That man has been caught and charged with 4 counts of attempted first-degree murder after driving his pickup truck into a crowd of pedestrians. So that guy is definitely going to face justice for sure. Okay, so let me make sure I got everybody over here. Cool. Okay, perfect. Anyone else wake up to doomer mood? Sometimes. I mean, sometimes it can be pretty doomer. But I try not to, think about it too much. How's it going, Anarcho-Doomerism? What do you use for a camera? I use a Canon EOS... I want to say M200? Howdy, howdy. EOS M200. I'm pretty sure. In fact, we can look it up. Yeah, it's the EOS M200. That's what it is. I just don't see the world turning around on major issues anytime soon. It seems like we're just doubling down on authority and capitalism, leading to many unavoidable external catastrophes. Well, I think that engaging or staying in this mentality is detrimental. Although I understand, like particularly with climate change, I 100% understand. With climate change, it's not easy. Um, it's not easy, but what we can do is rally, um, organize, and do what we can in the time that we have within the levers that we can still press. Okay, especially like during, especially with the issue with climate change. That I completely understand. Why even sometimes I fall into that kind of like doom pill, but I try to like not really dwell on it because then I can't like rally and do what I need to do and advocate for, advocate for the change that we need in terms of climate change. Yeah, Hambliss, it was a while. It took me 2 years to get there. Hambliss. It took me 2 years to get there. Climate change is the most difficult thing to deal with. I think so. I think so. I'd say we're seeing this political, social environment, and economic stagnation as a result of every tiny thing getting politicized. I mean, to a degree, but like, you can also argue that, like, I mean, yeah, there is truth to that, political talks. For example, climate change is not to be politicized. There's no debate about climate change, right? It's a pretty settled science. Um, but yeah. I just personally can't celebrate an inch when we need a few yards and soon. Well, the thing is, um, if we fall prey to that mentality, then we definitely don't get any of it. It is disappointing, but without the victory, without trying to take the W's that we can in the time that we have, then we cede everything, right? Biden has moved further to the left than I think anyone is expecting. Richard Wolf just did a video about it. Can you link that to me, Hambliss, via message, via DM? Hey Wing, how's it going? Now that doesn't mean be unrealistic, right? That doesn't mean just huff the hopium. It just means that we need to do what we can in the time that we have within the levers that we have to still to press, right? That's all we can do. I am angry. I went out, picked up a trash bag full of trash, barely made a dent in all the trash all over the sidewalk. Jesus, man. Climate change needs global action, but due to uncooperative nations and political divides, I don't expect much change. Just gotta do our best in what time we have before the rapture. Thankfully, more environmentally friendly technologies are being popularized. Yeah, to a degree, that's true. But you are also right in the sense that we do need part of the solution to climate change. One piece of the puzzle of the many things that we need to do in terms of climate change is get an international coalition, and the only way that happens is if the United States does what it's supposed to be as a leader, steps up, does the changes that it needs to do here at home, provide blueprints, and then say on the world stage, hey, look, we did it. This is X, Y, and Z. Here's what we did. How can we help? What do you need? What resources do you need? Take the lead. I'll give you an example. Why is China the #1 solar panel manufacturer? Why can't it be us? We provide jobs. I mean, we revitalize some manufacturing. Yeah, Hambliss, as we saw with the reaction, as we saw with the reactive response to COVID, that's not a good plan. You're correct in being proactive, not reactive. That is correct, Wing. Wow, I did not know that part. Alright folks, we do have quite the amount of headlines to go through, so let me go ahead and start working on some of those. Okay. This is the video that Hambliss sent me right here. Let's start with that.
This is Richard Wolff from Democracy at Work with another Wolff Responds.
Wolff Responds.
I want to respond to inquiries that many of you have sent to me and that deals with a topic that's in many people's minds these days. It has to do with evaluating and understanding what is coming down from the Biden administration and from the president himself. Is this a fundamental shift and change in both Mr. Biden's political position, that of the Democratic Party, or that of the Democratic Center, which controls and basically runs that party? Or is something else going on?
Dang, I don't have...
have commented from Bernie Sanders and AOC on over to the right wing, Mr. Trump and the rest of the Republicans. So there are a lot of evaluations in the air, and I would like to add one that I think captures what's going on. So let's begin. Definitely, Mr. Biden has changed his tune. By this I mean that he, Obama, Clinton, and the rest of the Democratic Center or the Democratic Party establishment...
Hey, Hildebeest, how's it going?
...had basically formulated their campaign for the 2020 election around the idea of getting back to normal, sort of undoing the 4 years of Trump to get us back to where we were as a nation before Mr. Trump surprised everyone, and himself included, by winning the presidential election. Okay, it's clear to me, as it is to many, that the Democratic Center has moved to the left. That is, Either the campaign knew all along that it would have to do things other than what it was saying, because to go back to the Democratic Party of Mr. Obama before Mr. Trump becomes president, it was in no way progressive, other than occasional rhetoric and not much more beyond that. Domestic policy wasn't a big break from what had gone on before, nor
I just woke
was
up. Hey,
foreign
me
policy,
too.
even less so there.
I'm hanging in there.
So to go back to the normal pre-Trump would have put the United States, as many of us said, right back on a train heading into a stone wall. To go back to pre-Trump is to recreate the conditions that produced Mr. Trump and all that
Morning
he did.
bread, please.
And so we were very critical, and I believe more than ever that we were quite right to be that way. And I think Mr. Biden either knew that all along or quickly figured it out after winning the election and beginning to deal with the actual realities rather than the campaign rhetoric. So there has been a movement to the left, if you like, a movement to a more progressive position. The programs being offered, whether they are the American Family Plan or the infrastructure or the original plan to combat COVID, it's more aggressive, it's a bigger role for the government, and the notion that it will be paid for, at least in part, by taxes specifically targeting corporate profits and the richest amongst us, are more than was suggested and more than we had any reason to expect, given both the long position of Mr. Biden, dead center in the Democratic Party, and the dominance of the Biden, Obama, Clinton group within the party. So the question then becomes, how far in a progressive direction is this going, or is this likely to go, and how do we account for it? So let's start with the second and then come to the first. How do we account for this movement to the left? The answer is that the American economy is in unbelievably difficult shape. We are now leveraged up with debt, government debt, personal debt, which has been record high since early in this century,
True.
and now the addition of corporate debt. And there's no mystery about what happened. The government decided to deal with the crashes of 2000, 2008, and now this latest one by pumping vast amounts of money into the economy and by lowering interest rates. All that extra money could easily be borrowed by corporations and the rich, the ones that usually borrow, so that their debts went crazy, but they didn't produce more goods because we had massive unemployment and companies were barely able to sell what they had already produced. So all the extra money borrowed at a low interest rate went into fuel the stock market, where indeed an inflation happened.
So what you're saying is I have a quarter of the market. Come on, no real purpose. Come on now.
Happened, raising the prices of stocks.
I do stream in Just Chatting sometimes.
Of the 10% richest Americans who own 85% of the shares. Therefore, inequality, already bad before Trump, worsened by Mr. Trump's tax cuts and other policies, was getting even worse across 2020 and into the new regime. They had to do something about this disintegrating social compact. The clash on January 6th in Washington was a foretaste of the kinds of conflicts building in this society, because the economic decline of the United States in terms of global economic strength, political power, military dominance, the fact that for the first time in really half a century, there's a real serious international competitor, namely the People's Republic of China. Something had to be done that was dramatic. And for people in the center of the Democratic Party, dramatic, a scary word, means moving a little to the left. And that's what they did. They borrowed from the progressives. Many of the ideas and thrusts of notions of what to do from Bernie Sanders, from AOC, and from others were picked up, massaged a little bit, make them scary, shrink many of them, but at least movement in that direction. And that is to be welcomed, and I welcome it. I'm glad Mr. Biden saw the handwriting on the wall. But the movement so far is hesitant and small. It doesn't begin to equal what FDR did, which is a shame, because my guess is it will have to. And it will be bad that it wasn't done sooner rather than later. Let's remember, Roosevelt created institutions like unemployment compensation and Social Security.
Correct.
Mr. Biden has not. Mr. Roosevelt immediately instituted, once it became clear that he was going to make his move, he immediately instituted a federal hiring program, hiring millions and millions of American workers. Mr. Biden is not doing that or even proposing it or barely even discussing it as an option. He couldn't get his $15 minimum wage, which is a catastrophic shortcoming in this day and age, but I don't need to go over that. So how far will it go?
Thank you for the shout out, much appreciated. I hope you're having a decent morning. Yeah, I am. Thank you so much, Hilda Beast. And of course, everybody should be following Hilda_Beast.
It's not clear that the Democrats are strong enough to get it. So much of what will be done, however much that ends up being, will be paid for by borrowing. And I want to conclude by telling you how that works so you'll understand that Mr. Biden has made a nice move to the left, but it's not very far. When you pay for government programs by borrowing rather than taxing, it means you're going to leave the rich and the corporations with the larger part of the enormous tax cut given to them by Mr. Trump in December of 2017. At the end of a 40-year period when the rich got richer and the corporations were less taxed than ever before, they needed a tax cut less than ever in American history, and Mr. Trump gave them a doozy on top of that absurd situation.
True.
Mr. Biden is proposing halfway back on the corporate tax, halfway to what it was before Mr. Trump lowered it, and he's not going to get that, and he's already acknowledged that. So there will be huge borrowing. And from whom will the government borrow? Basically, from corporations and the rich. The rest of Americans have no money to lend to the government. So here's what's
with 100 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's coming to them hat in hand to borrow instead. They will all get that money back, and they will get interest as they wait before they get it back. For them, a boondoggle. Instead of paying taxes, they get to make a loan of that money. For them, it's spectacular. It will increase their wealth, and it'll put the rest of us in the position of having to pay extra taxes, etc., to cover the interest and to pay them back. This is a wonderful way to not deal with inequality the way you could and should, to not deal with it the way the Roosevelt regime did. And remember, the Roosevelt regime, which went way further, still pulled up short. It never dispossessed those who own and run the corporations of this country, so that they could, once World War II was over and President Roosevelt was dead, they could undo the New Deal, which they've spent the last 50 years accomplishing with Republicans and Democrats alike.
True.
So that wasn't an adequate solution, it turns out, what Mr. Roosevelt did, and Mr. Biden is a long way from doing even that. So yes, he's way better than Trump, a pretty low bar. Yes, there's a shift to the left, but the real reasons are a declining American economy, all that implies, the effort of those at the top to offload the costs of that decline on everybody else. That's what's going on. Mr. Biden is, as Democrats often do, softening, easing, slowing all of that, but fundamentally stopping it, let alone reversing it. There's no sign yet that he has the will, the power, the insight, or the determination to do that. This is Richard Wolff.
Okay, I mean, an interesting perspective for sure. If I was Hassan, I'd raid ADT just to see the reaction of 30,000 chatters, but in reality, it's probably good that he doesn't raid small streamers. I know I'd probably curl up into a ball and end my stream. No. I would be shocked, that's for sure. I would be shocked. By the way, Hambliss, I did not know you streamed. Okay, perfect. Yes, I did not know you stream, Hambliss. Let me see if I can do this right. Hey Memo, how's it going? Was Aaron Chaudhry's new show on Nomiki's channel on Twitch yesterday? I know you mod for Nomiki, but I'm the mod on YouTube. I think that I think that if so, it's gonna air today because there's no Monday stream. Is there not? Unless I missed something. I could have sworn Nomiki doesn't do, or unless she already started doing streams on Monday, in which case I dropped the ball on that. Because I'm always used to doing Tuesday through Friday. But if so, I dropped the ball. Just wishing I could touch a baby otter. Those are cute. Everybody should be following Hambliss too. I started about a month ago. Yeah, follow Hambliss, folks. Alright. Oh, it's called the committee. No, it's called the committee. Nomiki isn't doing it. It was Aron's first show yesterday, but it probably wasn't on Twitch. Okay, maybe that's why I didn't see the notification because I have it clicked on notification so I don't forget. Okay, that makes more sense. Folks, Florida has just declared that the pandemic is over. It's done. We did it, guys. We did it. It's done. We like a miracle. We did it. We did it. Obviously that's not true, as we are still seeing thousands of cases, 7-day average 4,822, new cases yesterday 3,075. Yeah. But I bought the cake already. It's every Monday, gotcha. Okay, I'll tune into YouTube then. Florida Governor DeSantis suspends all remaining COVID restrictions. We're no longer in a state of emergency. Wow, I didn't know he had that power to just whisk away a pandemic. I was not aware of that. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed an executive order on Monday that immediately suspends all outstanding local COVID emergency orders and related public health restrictions. The fact is, we are no longer in a state of emergency. Cool. DeSantis said during a news conference he acknowledged that Florida was still not done fighting the coronavirus, but reiterated the nation's decline in COVID cases and deaths. Okay, but how does that pertain to Florida? That's what I don't understand. And yes, there has been a slight decline, and hopefully the trend still continues nationally. Nationally, there is a trend downwards, which is good. But that doesn't mean this is the time, right? Furthermore, these are national numbers. These are not Florida numbers. Florida numbers are a little bit different. And nowhere near where they need to be loosening up restrictions. Not that there was any in Florida. I think that's the evidence-based thing to do, DeSantis said, adding that asking vaccinated individuals to continue to wear masks would undermine confidence in the coronavirus vaccine. What? That's not... No. It's... okay. Well, this already contradicts itself. This is not evidence-based. Private businesses can still require masks and enforce social distancing and other protective measures, so you're going to leave it up to the private businesses. DeSantis signed a bill on Monday that codifies the executive order into law effective July 1st. The executive order, he said, which was designed to bridge the gap until then. The measure, which effectively ends all local pandemic-related restriction, also bans vaccine passports. What? It's ridiculous how many people who just stop wearing masks. Yeah, that's the problem. It's like you give this perception, right? You give this perception because supposedly the governor of a state is an authoritative figure, right? Supposedly the president of the United States is an authoritative figure. If you have someone in a leadership position telling you that it's okay, telling you that it's really not that big of a deal, why would you need masks? I don't get it. Why would you need masks? Right? People think it's gonna be okay. The fact that you're announcing this gives the perception that everything's fine in Florida. Right? It gives the perception that, well, you know, maybe it's not that bad. Thanks for the follow, little underscore box. That's Santa's. Florida has reported the third most COVID cases in the US at more than 2.2 million since the beginning of the pandemic, and the fourth highest death toll at more than 35,000 fatalities. Nice. We're not even... Okay. According to data compiled by the Johns Hopkins University, average new cases there, however, have fallen by more than 13% over the last week, dropping to 4,885 as of Sunday. The White House did not immediately respond to CNBC's request for comment. Wait, why would the White House respond to this? Last week, the Biden administration announced the relaxation of federal public health guidance on wearing masks outdoors. The CDC recommends that fully vaccinated people can exercise and attend small gatherings outside without wearing a mask. That means this is the situation where a mask is not required. A small gathering, okay, and by small gathering, it's less than 20 people, okay, all fully vaccinated, all outside. However, if you are in a crowded area, regardless if you're outside, regardless if you're fully vaccinated, then you wear a mask. If you're doing stuff indoors, it is highly recommended that you wear a mask. These are the updated CDC guidelines, and we should just go with that. I don't know what like the difficulty is just following basic protocol, right? I live in Orlando and it is not okay here. Yikes. So I think the problem here is calling it a vaccine. This COVID thing isn't a vaccine. You get polio, you get a polio vaccine, and you cannot get or transmit polio. This is a vaccine. The COVID is an immunobooster. You can still get it and transmit it, then it's not a vaccine. Well, I mean, it is a vaccine. It just doesn't... Okay. It's still a vaccine. It's just not a traditional vaccine like we think it is, right? It's an mRNA vaccine. It works differently, but it is a vaccine nonetheless. Speaking of which, Tucky. This is why we can't have nice things, folks. A substance used to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against one or several diseases prepared from a causative agent of a disease it produces or its product or synthetic substitute treated to act as an antigen without inducing the disease. Yeah, I mean, it technically does provide a degree of immunity, right? It provides the antibodies. It provides the antibodies necessary. They're saying it lessens the symptoms if you do get it. That is true. That is true. That is true. Which is why the CDC still recommends that you wear masks and you still take certain precautions. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get stuck in a I don't want to get stuck in a like terminology war. I think it's just like for the normal people to understand how this works. It's very simple. You get the first shot, then the boot, like the second shot, to effectively be what 94 to 96% effective. Anywhere from 94 to 96% effective, and if you do happen to get it, your symptoms will be really, really low. Just because the CDC recommends something doesn't mean you can't take more precautions, and the CDC, yeah, of course. I understand that, but that's not what the CDC is saying, which is why I'm urging people. That's not what medical professionals are saying. What I'm urging people to do is listen to the medical professionals and what exactly they are saying and how exactly this works. Not all approved coronaviruses are mRNA, and not all are 90% effective. Wait, all the mRNA vaccines that we have here, the J&J, the Moderna, and the Pfizer, which are the three main ones that we have here. The J&J is not mRNA. Hold on. Okay, fake news. Hold on, fake news, folks. Fake news. The J&J vaccine is not mRNA. That is correct. The J&J vaccine is not mRNA. Fake news. Correct. J&J is not mRNA, but do we have AstraZeneca here? I don't think we do. Or do we? As far as I can tell in the US, it's only been, it's only those three main ones, right? The Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, and Moderna. Those are the three ones that, at least those are the ones that are available to me. I don't know if it's different in different parts of the US or if it's just standard for everybody in the US, but for me, the options that I have are J&J, Moderna, and Pfizer. Got my first shot of Pfizer on Sunday. Nice. Yeah, just wear a mask and get vaccinated. What is the issue here? Yeah, so let's keep it simple. My cell signal has been really good ever since. Yeah, I think that it's very... It's as simple as that. Wear a mask when you're supposed to. And get vaccinated. I think I've settled on... If I'm given a choice, I think I'll just get the Pfizer one. What was the mask compliance? What does that mean? What was the mask compliance rate over the winter? I'm not sure what that means. Why was there a winter surge? Generally speaking, if I'm correct, I would defer to the experts, but if I'm correct, the reason why there was a winter surge is because more people are inside in more confined spaces. HI bureaucrat, complete control. True. I love that built-in GPS. If I were to take a gander, I think that the reason why you see spikes in the winter is because more people are confined in closer spaces, maybe? I'm not really sure. So lockdown and stay-at-home orders are kind of productive then? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. The pods of people were mingling for the holidays. Oh, okay. Well, that makes even more sense. Because people were going out for the holidays. Okay, yeah, that makes even more sense. People mingling for the holidays is what... Yeah, that makes sense. Like the Thanksgiving, Christmas. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Of course, that makes perfect sense. But nice try though. On what level do you want data to push back? To push back on that? Federal or state? Wait, what are you talking about? Wait, there was a spike after... Wait. Hold on. After all of these events, there was spikes. After all of these events, after Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, there were spikes. Wait. We knew about this. Each long weekend has its own spike. True. Anyways, Tucker, listen. If you let Democrats force you to get the vaccine, they'll have complete control forever. 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 First of all, has there been a national push to have a mandatory federal level of vaccination? The answer to that is no. I mean, he even quotes Jen Psaki, I think. The government is not now, nor will we ever be requiring vaccine passports. Stupka. Thank you so much for the tier 1 subscription. I appreciate that. We're on 8 months now. Optional return to work for all employees started June 1st at my job. Jeez. Starting June 1st. Hey, Yellow King. Just because there's no official federal requirement to take the coronavirus vaccine does not mean that you and your family won't be required to take it. With the full backing of the Biden administration, private industry and nonprofits may be forcing you to. Wait. Hold on. Are you infringing on a private company's ability to require certain things to do business? That's really weird. Students who can't show proof of COVID vaccination will not be allowed on campus. This is the same reason why kids who don't have the X, Y, and Z vaccine can't attend school. That's the same reason why kids can't attend school if they don't have the proper vaccines. It's just as simple as that. And here we go into getting into the dangerous stuff right here. The question is, why are schools doing this? Because they don't want to spread the virus? And is it a good idea? From a medical standpoint, it's hard to understand the reasoning behind this. Wait. He's literally taking the Joe Rogan approach. Which, by the way, Joe Rogan backpedaled on that. As a group, young people are not at risk dying from COVID. That's not the point, not the problem. Maybe more significant, a huge number of college students have already been infected with the coronavirus. How do you know that? Based on what data? We know that. Wait, how? Wait, which data? And we know that, and therefore we have a natural immunity. That's not guaranteed either. Wait, there have been people who had been infected with the coronavirus naturally. And then still get it again. Why do these kids need a vaccine? First of all, they aren't kids, they're college students. First of all, they're not kids, they're college students. No other circumstances do we immunize people against the virus which they already have the antibodies. Again, that's not guaranteed if you get the coronavirus naturally. That isn't guaranteed that you're immune. That doesn't mean the antibodies that you got from getting it naturally stay. I understand Tucker has trouble with this, but he shouldn't be speaking on it if he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. It's dangerous. From a medical perspective, that doesn't make sense. It seems especially strange to require it in this case. None of the coronavirus vaccines have been approved by the FDA. They're experimental vaccines. That's absolutely not true. They're administered under emergency authorization. Yes, that is true. The vaccines have been speed run through emergency authorizations. That doesn't mean that they did not go under rigorous under rigorous testing. That's a pivot. Nobody's talking about asymptomatic people. That doesn't mean they're dangerous, of course, and this is how he saves himself. And we're not claiming the coronavirus vaccines are dangerous. That's the saving grace. The please don't sue us or whatever. Let's wash our hands with this. Yeah, this guy thinks he there's like a Dunning-Kruger effect happening in chat right now. But there are unresolved concerns about their long-term effects on some people, including their effects on female fertility. That is not a conspiracy. It is true. It's an honest question that no one has been able to answer. And that's not simply asked by partisans, it's being asked by practicing physicians. If there are issues, we will figure it out. That's the whole point of science. That's why they stopped the J&J. Even though there was only 6 cases out of 6 million, they still did rigorous effort to make sure that this is as safe as possible. Even at 6, just a handful of cases with the J&J vaccine, they still took the meticulous and rigorous effort to make sure that everything is okay. On this graph, the massive winter surge was right around the holiday season as it began. And its peak was the week or week and something after New Year's Eve. That's when it became the highest point. Yeah, it's just some guy trying to be a debate bro. An incremental change. Oh yeah. Hey folks, incremental change. An incremental change as we get into the holiday season. Check out this incremental change. And we know that millions of people traveled for the holidays. I mean, this is not science. This is not like rocket science. Fucking moron. Anyways, here we have Tucker Carlson spreading dangerous misinformation and giving the appearance of the vaccine being some type of experimental medicine that that kids don't need to take. And by kids, he means college students, which aren't kids. I don't. This guy is spreading some very dangerous misinformation. There's conflation about some pre-symptomatic and asymptomatic, but what's the point? Yeah. I was AFK. No worries. I was just trying to drop some knowledge before we hit the bonk button. So apparently, some Anecdote Andes have said that there are effects on women's menstrual cycle. Apparently, one person confirmed it. However, more study is obviously needed. And if true, it should be studied. Maybe the symptoms amount to nothing. That's often the case. So, like, why are you bringing this up? And furthermore, how do you know that this dozen, that these, like, dozen cases that you listed, how do you know that that just wasn't a coincidence? There have been millions, tens of millions of people that have gotten the vaccine. How do you know that this just wasn't a coincidence? Correlation does not equal causation. How do you know that? Did you do, like, rigorous testing, Tucker? I really doubt it. I really doubt it. You know what else has adverse effects? Time from COVID, true. Not even, like, just the fact that, COVID can have long-term damage, even if you don't die. Similar to adults with SARS, COVID infections, children can spread SARS-CoV-2 to others when they don't have symptoms or have mild non-specific symptoms and might not know that they're infected. There's no debate here. Okay, there you go. Easy peasy. That's from the CDC. Yeah, I mean, there you go. We don't have to, like, argue that. I was listening to the Sandy and Nora podcast, and this was brought up. They even agreed that more studies are needed to explore this notion. They agreed, follow the science and prove or disprove this new claim. Correct, because maybe there is. But until you have that data, you can't claim. And furthermore, he washes his hands by saying, well, maybe it's nothing. Maybe that's often the case. Maybe it is something. I don't know. Don't take the vaccine. But maybe it is nothing. How do you know that? How do you know that these dozens of women wasn't just a coincidence that happened? Out of the millions. Not just in the US, but I mean, like, worldwide, all of who have taken the vaccine. All who have taken the vaccine, how do you know that this is directly related? All you can say is that, well, more studies are needed to prove this. You can't just make these you can't just make these things. You can't just make it seem like this is some kind of like weird experimental stuff going on here. That's from March of 2021 per the CDC. Yeah, there you go. Boom. I mean, he even quotes this. More longitudinal follow-up, including a follow-up of large numbers of women vaccinated earlier in pregnancy, is necessary to inform maternity, pregnancy, and infant outcomes. If there is anything to explore here, we need the actual data. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. In other words, at this point, we just don't know. So then why are you talking about this? Again, that doesn't mean the vaccine is dangerous. There's no proof that it's dangerous, but there doesn't need to be. What? Wait, what? We don't need proof of harm in order for public officials, we don't need proof of harm in order for public health officials to be careful and precise about how they distribute these drugs. They are being as careful and precise as possible. No medicine is designed for every person in all circumstances. In fact, every prescription is the result of cost-benefit analysis. Most people, for example, would consider chemotherapy a miracle treatment. It saves lives. We are grateful for chemotherapy, but just because we're grateful to have chemotherapy doesn't mean we'd give chemotherapy to the entire American population. What, like, massive, logical fallacy is this? What massive logical... equivocating chemotherapy to the COVID vaccine. Equivocating chemotherapy to the COVID vaccine. That is unbelievably dishonest. That is unbelievably dishonest. Yeah, it's like they live in doublethink. I bet the person who wrote that takes vitamins and would recommend it, I bet. No, the person who is this is Tucker Carlson. No, he's equivocating the COVID vaccine to chemotherapy. Like, by that logic, like, what does that even mean? We wouldn't give... no medicine is designed for every person. Like, what does that even mean? So, like, when we eradicated, like, I don't know, polio. When we eradicated polio with a vaccine, you know what we did? We gave it to as many people as possible. We gave it to everybody and anybody. That's the point of a vaccine. That's the point of immunity. Correct. Maybe that's memeing too hard. Yeah, don't mean too close to the sun, folks. We are grateful that... Okay, so we don't even give chemotherapy to every cancer patient, but because every patient is unique, just as every person is. Okay, but this is not that, okay? This is not that. You can't compare cancer and the treatments of cancer, which are unique because guess what? There are different types of cancer that require different types of treatment because they occur in different parts of the body. This isn't hard. This isn't hard to understand. Someone who has lung cancer is not going to have the same treatment as someone who has liver cancer. This isn't a hard concept to understand. However, a vaccine is designed to provide protection for the population against X. That is a fundamental precept of medicine, maybe. However, there are blanket things that we can use to eradicate viruses and bacteria. We have proven methods. They didn't say to every person, like, oh, well, we have to design an individual polio vaccine for you. We have to design an individual measles vaccine for you. Considering, yeah, but the variants are actually still, they still fall under the blanket vaccination. Even with the new variants, the numbers on the vaccines have been pretty good, even with. Yet somehow our COVID vaccination policy doesn't acknowledge this. For the purposes of vaccination, our leaders pretend that a 19-year-old athlete is identical to an 80-year-old with emphysema, but both need the COVID vaccination immediately. Yeah, that's how you do. That's exactly how you do herd immunity, Tucky. Whatever else that is, it's not scientific standard. And I'm sorry, you got your degree from where? It's quackery, okay? Yet every power center in American life seems to be unquestionably on board with it. NBC News is now running PSAs with its on-air talent demanding that everyone in the country get the shot. Demanding, folks. Demanding. And of course, it's a Barack Obama advertising, just saying that, just saying to everybody get the vaccine. That's what it is. That's the creepy little video telling small children to get the shot. Small children. How disingenuous is this guy? Small children, over the age of 16. Tucker is saying that small children are people 16 and over. Those are small children. You see how like the rhetoric and propaganda works? He got a doctorate from PragerU, probably. He's been vaccinated for measles and rubella, I'm sure. Yeah, and I bet he'll get this vaccine too. I bet he'll get this vaccine if he hasn't already. How disingenuous. Barack Obama just released a creepy little video telling small children to get the vaccine. What? To get the shot? And then have the, like, as if people won't, like, pay attention to what he says. I mean, that's probably what he's banking on, right? That people won't pay attention to what he says. He literally quotes right after he says, Barack Obama just released a creepy little video telling small children to get the shot, to evoke that emotional response. If anybody also decided to take a quick second to Google, just a quick second to understand, they would know that small children still, at least until the next following week probably, as they continue to do more testing, small children aren't eligible for their vaccine regardless. just to let you know, guys, they're still doing testing and are going to release they finished testing, and they are planning on getting the okay from the government by next week for children. Okay, that's the reason why the vaccine is not available for small children. So he's just flat out lying, first of all, and second of all, has the audacity to play the same video by saying, has the audacity to play the Barack Obama video by saying, hey, now that every American over the age of 16. That is not small children. Well, for sure, he certainly has talking points before, but I don't know if this one is. I think that this is just fear-mongering. Just straight up fear-mongering with no basis of evidence. Some creepy old guy telling your children, your little kids. Your little kids. Your little 16-year-old high school kids. And some creepy old guy. What do you mean by creepy old guy? Hold on. Wait. Wait. Hold on. Some creepy... Oh, you mean like you? Wait, you mean like you? Not that much older. Some creepy old guy. Hey, okay, I'm gonna twist this one around. Hey, folks, some creepy old guy keeps telling you that the vaccine is some type of experimental new drug. Experimental new drug that may or may not do weird stuff to you, and you shouldn't take it. Some creepy old guy is telling us that with no scientific basis, is telling us that we shouldn't take a vaccine because he said so. That happens every day. Just don't ask questions. Just do it. Fox recently explained that your freedoms are being taken away. You see, like, how this is like completely double. This is like double speak. This is double think. This is double think. Hey, Alio, how's it going? Thank you so much for the 15 biddies. 14 biddies. I appreciate that. And paleo conservative dinosaur. Yeah, like. Wait. Wait, you are a creepy old guy. And furthermore, relating like Barack Obama as a creepy old guy when he is like one of the most prominent figures of politics, he's basically equating like Obama to like some weird creepy old guy that like shows up on TV randomly to espouse like conspiracy theories. Oh wait, that's you. Oh wait, that's hold on. Ooh, sorry. That's you. That's you. You gaslight, obstruct, and project. Oh god, you literally can't make this up. Classic. That's right, Memmius. I remember that. Yeah, but he's the one that cares about small children. Correct. Unbelievable. You're little kids. You literally said that while typing it. Yeah, I remember. I remember. I mean, unbelievable. We're being gaslit in real time. Being told that some creepy old guy, one of the most prominent figures of politics, like it's not just some rando, um, who's doing a public service announcement. Nothing to do with little kids. That's you. That's your rhetoric to invoke an emotional response. An emotional response. The COVID vaccine has not yet been released for children yet. Okay, has not been released for children yet. It will be soon. We've got testing. We've got data. They're going to release it. They're going to AOK it. I'm sure. I believe I saw that it was this week or the next week after that. I'm not sure, but the point being is that no, it's currently in this moment. It is not okayed for little kids, but it will be soon because there's been testing with effects we don't fully understand. We still don't know what that means. His spectrum for little kids is odd. You want to clip all the times he's called for little children to be tried as adults? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. This guy lives in like doublethink. Say no to disinformation. Just say no to disinformation not based on reality. Just say no. Just say no to disinformation and propaganda. CNN explained recently we're not getting our freedoms back until you do. I'm sorry, does CNN like do policies? We don't really have any type of restrictions going on right now. Not really, not effectively. What nationwide freedoms are being restricted right now? Somebody please explain to me what nationwide freedoms are being restricted right now. There may be some states that are imposing a little bit more restrictions. There may be states that don't have any. Like Florida doesn't have any type of restrictions whatsoever at this point. Explain to me, Tucker. What freedom is being inhibited right now? Like the freedom to wear like a cloth over your face or a little tiny mask over your face? I don't get it. Anyways, the. Conservatives are the biggest snowflakes. True. Wait, because short of arrest. Hold on. Wait. Keeping kids out of school is the most coercive measure the authorities could take. Why? Because most Americans still believe, correctly or not, that college is the key to advancement in our society. Take that away and everything collapses. Wait, what? First of all, what? Hey, did society collapse when we began to require students to have certain vaccinations? Wait, did society like collapse when we had like when we had requirements for certain vaccines to be able to participate in school? Wait. And again, Tucker is trying to invoke an emotional response by continuing to use the word kids, as in like elementary kids. As he, there's like a post of children here, but this isn't approved for kids yet, okay? It will be soon. After all the data and testing has been completed, it will be soon. But he's making it seem like kids, these small children, are getting the vaccine. They are not. He says kids and college in the same sentence. I had to be up to date. I had to be up to date in my vaccines, and I had to be up to date on my vaccines to attend high school and college, same as he did. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Exactly, that's the point. To harm their children in the name of COVID. Okay, hold on. I just felt like I couldn't get a full breath of air, and after multiple times of that happening, not being able to get enough air, I felt dizzy, and eventually I passed out. Williams blames her lack of oxygen on the mask she's required to wear during competition. Okay. Press X to doubt. Press X to doubt. Can you believe this? This is unbelievable. This is another classic case of causation correlation. She may have passed out. She may have been out of breath. But it is not because of the mask. This is per the CDC. Could it be harmful to wear COVID prevention mask while exercising? For healthy people, wearing masks during exercise have not been shown to be harmful. However, individuals affected by lung disease such as asthma or COPD or heart disease should be evaluated by a healthcare provider before attempting exercise with any mask. So, yeah, you've got bigger problems if you're passing out because of a mask. You've got bigger problems. Also, the masks that you wear are designed to be breathable, and there's no evidence that suggests it reduces your oxygen count. Correct. Chibirka, the point being is, you've got bigger problems if you are passing out while wearing a mask. Anyway, the TLDR is that this guy is dangerous, and I will say the same about the original. Oh wait, he never explained. He never explained how Democrats would have complete control over you forever and ever. He never. I don't think he ever explained that. This is just dangerous misinformation. Nobody should be listening. No reasonable person would ever think that this guy is telling you the truth. Okay? That's the TLDR. And it's important to understand that it's as simple as reading through the emotional rhetoric that this guy is trying to evoke and understand that a lot of the stuff that he's saying is not based on science, okay? As someone said earlier, it's just simple. Listen to the latest updates when it comes to this. It's just that simple, okay? It's not that big a deal, okay? Coming out of the woodwork, Hillary Clinton warns of huge consequences in Afghan U.S. troop withdrawal. Mrs. Clinton told CNN there was a risk of the Taliban, an Islamic group ousted in 2001 by the U.S.-led invasion, could retake control. The U.S. aims to complete this withdrawal by September 11. However, the Taliban have been carrying out more attacks. This is what we call a wicked problem. Mrs. Clinton told CNN, there are consequences both foreseen and unintended of staying and of leaving. So wait, you just admitted that staying or leaving, we're still gonna be seeing like adverse effects or what? Ms. Clinton, like Mr. Biden, a Democrat, with strong support of the U.S. intervention in Afghanistan after the 9/11 attacks in 2001. Mr. Biden wants to complete the withdrawal by the 20th anniversary of the attacks later this year, which is really weird, but okay. At least 2,500 troops are currently deployed as part of the 9,600 strong NATO Afghan mission. The president said the U.S. Pullout was justified as American forces had ensured that the country would no longer be a base for foreign jihadists to plot against the West. Wait, what? Can somebody like remind me the last time we had an issue with like jihadists actually plotting a attack on our soil? I mean, asked about the president's decision by CNN's Fareed Zakaria on Sunday, Mrs. Clinton said our government has to focus on two huge consequences, notably the resumption of activities by extremist groups and a subsequent outpouring of refugees from Afghanistan. She said the potential collapse of the Afghan government and a possible takeover by the Taliban could result in a new civil war. Well, wasn't there also like military like leadership saying that what we actually did in the Middle East accomplished didn't accomplish what we wanted, and the TLDRs, we did all this for naught, right? I'm pretty sure we went over an article where military leadership admitted that they actually didn't achieve what they thought they were going to achieve. I'm pretty sure. Mrs. Clinton said it was also important to protect the many thousands of Afghans who had worked with the US and NATO during the conflict, and said a large visa program should be set up to provide for any refugees. The US remaining troops in Afghanistan began formally withdrawing the 1st of May amid escalating violence. Afghan security forces are on high alert for reprisal attacks. On Monday, Afghan officials said that at least 7 soldiers have been killed in a Taliban attack on a military outpost in the southwestern Farah province. They said the militants had blown up the post after digging a tunnel for about 400 meters to access it from a nearby house. 1 soldier had been captured by the insurgents. They said the other reports put the Afghan army casualties at much higher. Speaking at a press conference in London on Monday, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that Biden administration was very focused on a deliberate, safe, and orderly withdrawal of troops, but that the US would continue to assist the Afghan government. Even as our forces are pulling out of Afghanistan, we are not withdrawing, we are not disengaging. So then what is the whole point of this? Are you or are you not? He said that adding if US troops are attacked before leaving the country, decisive action would be taken. Hillary Clinton represents the view of foreign policy experts. The US should show its strength by deploy its military. Her criticism of Biden's plan reflects its sensibility. Wait, what? Who are these foreign policy experts? Her criticism matters in part because so many in the foreign policy establishment, both Democrats and Republicans, agree with her. I mean, yeah, they're the establishment. Condoleezza Rice, who served as Secretary of State under President George Bush, has also warned about the risk of withdrawing troops and the threat of terrorism. Okay, but like, based on what? Based on what? Yet liberal, such as Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont, do not think the troops should be there, nor do Americans. A 2019 Gallup poll showed that 58% of Democrats think that the war in Afghanistan has made the US less safe from terrorism. Clinton's views are important, but Biden has the support of many Americans. Plus, he's the president and has made his decisions. His views are the ones that matters now, not hers. To a degree, yes, that's true. Yeah, I don't think that we should be taking advice from Condoleezza Rice, who is in the Bush administration. Who's in the Bush administration, who, by the way, lied their way into this, okay? They lied their way into this war, which we're here still in 2021, 20 years later-ish. Approaching 20 years. So I'm not really sure that you're in the position to be like an authoritative, trustworthy figure here, my friend. Okay? Stop trying to be politically relevant. Your time came and went. Okay? Okay, so we are going to have to speed run some of this. Biden refugee raises refugee cap to 62,000 after blowback, 62,500 after blowback. The Biden administration will raise the refugee ceiling to 62,500 people this fiscal year, the White House confirmed, leaving after receiving swift criticism last month when President Joe Biden kept the lower Trump-era cap in place. So, I mean, yeah, there was a point beforehand that we were accepting more refugee admissions. So, reverting that, I don't believe it's going to significantly change anything. However, it is fine. I don't have a problem with this. I think that the TLDR, because I'm just gonna speed run through this. I think the TLDR here is there is a possibility. Okay, there is a possibility that the Biden administration can be moved, take certain actions. Hey, Rojogan, how's it going? There is a possibility that the Biden administration can be pushed to do certain things. And I think that's what we really should be taking from this, okay? His original plan was just leave it. Just saying it is possible. Not probable, but it is possible. Alright, someone posted this on the Discord, so we'll take a look at this.
Question today, David, do you believe that people whose hobby is politics actually get anything done politically? This is I want to be careful in how I talk about this, because if I were to say people who just follow politics as a hobby and source of entertainment don't get a damn thing done, I think it would potentially be disaffecting to many people. My view is that, and we've done interviews on this before, and it's an important question. We've talked about it with Rachel Bitecofer and with other people. Political hobbyists don't get much done themselves if they only remain political hobbyists. However, they may, number one, by sharing information on social media, get other people to go beyond being merely political hobbyists and being actual political activists who get things done. But for many people, being a political hobbyist is the entry path into being more of an activist, someone who actually calls elected officials, organizes, does voter registration, volunteers for candidates,
completely
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's true.
So if the question, it's the devil is in how you ask, the devil's in the details of the question. Do people who never go beyond merely following politics like entertainment help to achieve change? Very, very little. Hopefully they at least vote. Not all political hobbyists even vote, but to the extent that they do, voting is important.
That's the irony of it.
If the question is, can being a political hobbyist lead to being someone that actually does achieve change by becoming an organizer or someone who volunteers for campaigns or whatever else? The answer is absolutely yes. And I know tons of people, and many are in our audience, who started just by watching shows like this and other shows, and voted, but then eventually really became engaged. And I can think of people in lots of different parts of the country where that's the case. So what is important is not to dismiss those who are interested in politics and follow it as a hobby as people who can never get anything done. It's a matter of encouraging them to get more involved. And there are so many ways that that can be done, either running for something at the local level, volunteering for a local, state, or national election, and doing phone banking and text banking and all these different things. People who, one other thing, right now, the candidate that raises more money in a race is more likely to win. It's not 100%. It's not correlated at 1. but there's a correlation between raising more money and being able to and ultimately winning.
Unfortunately,
If
that
you
is
become
true.
a political hobbyist and you donate money, you are also involved in a way that materially affects outcomes. I wish that it wasn't the case that our political system depended on money in that way. It's a disgusting, corrosive system that must be changed. But if you're not only a political hobbyist, but someone who donates to candidates that you believe in, you are also having an impact. And we know that, and there's a reason that raising money is so important and such a important factor in signaling who might actually win an election. So let's embrace the political hobbyists to do more rather than writing them off as people who make no difference. And the truth is, most people in my audience are political hobbyists. Some percentage of them are more than that. And hopefully we can encourage that number to grow even further. Let me know your thoughts. We also have a great bonus show for you today. The bonus show is only exclusively...
Okay, show on your own time, David. Show on your own time. However, there is points to be made about this. I think that this is kind of... I was interested in the video because it gave me some of this debate bros versus like the kind of more bred to be video essayist discourse, right? We've all seen that discourse going around where people think that, oh yeah, well, debate bros don't contribute anything, or not everybody listens to video essays, not everybody is intrigued by a 15, 20, 30-minute video, hour-long video about X topic, versus like debate bros can conjugate? How do I say this word? They can perpetuate or create a toxic culture. I mean, I think that this kind of gave me those vibes between that discourse, and I feel like there is spots, there are points, and there are areas where a well done debate is good. I'm talking about the blood sports. I'm not talking about the toxic panels. I mean, there are scenarios where a well-done debate between two people and a moderator who's controlling everything, who has everything set and has 1 minute here, 1 minute there, or whatever, and is having a good debate about a certain topic, I think that that has value. I also think that people who sit there and do massive research on a specific topic and put out video essays, or people who want to have a deep dive into certain things, or into a social commentary or whatnot, I think that has huge value too, in my opinion, right? I personally think the political discourse online has become incredibly toxic. That is true. But I think there are scenarios where it's possible to have a constructive debate, and I do appreciate the hard work and effort that goes into making video essays and stuff like that, right? We can say these things. So this kind of gave me those vibes. I think that, yeah, we should embrace people who are politically inclined. We should embrace people who are interested in politics. It's just that simple, okay? If you want to enact change, you need to have as many people on your side as possible, okay? You need to be reaching out to the apolitical people. You need to be reaching out to the people who, generally speaking, are they sometimes tune into what's going on in the world, but they don't really have too much of a stake, because our system, unfortunately, disincentivizes participation. Those are the people that need to be listening. Those are the people that need to be sought after, right? Make them interested. Give them something to vote for. Give them issues that affect them directly. Simple as that. And don't forget about the ADT bonus show on Saturday Catterday. True. Which does remind me, it is time for to show for myself. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the YouTubes, like the stream, do all that awesome stuff, and make sure you spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and Saturday Catterdays, about noon Eastern Time. Also, folks, quick, I forget the word. Quick, hey. Quick announcement on the 16th, which is about 2 weeks from now, I think. I will be on Dan Simpson's show again, so don't forget. 2 weeks from now, Sunday, May 16th, about noon Eastern Time. I'm gonna be there for another about hour interview, I think, or maybe longer. I will be there. Come hang out, and I'm thankful for the opportunity that Dan Simpson has given for me to appear on his show twice and hang out with his chat too. Dan Simpson's community is pretty chill, okay? Pretty chill. What do you chat about? I don't know. I need to open up the Word document. But last time it was kind of like an interview. It was like an interview where we talked about different questions. How did I get to where I am politically? What are my hobbies? I think he also asked me what's my favorite word, my least favorite word, my favorite sound, my least favorite sound, things like that. So it's kind of like an interview, like a personal interview. And I'm excited. I'm excited getting to know ADT Nice. Yeah, it was a very more intimate type of deal that he does. He even did Lance from the Serfs, which is a great interview. I'm sure he's going to put it up on YouTube, so search that out. Dan Simpson. I'm pretty sure he's going to post that if you guys didn't watch it. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. So I'm excited to have a conversation again, a follow-up conversation. I believe now that I'm remembering, sorry, I'm just checking up on work. I believe that this time we're going to get a little bit more deep into what my ideas are, my ideology, what I believe in terms of like me, right? What am I? What am I? Quit your job? Oh, man. Wish I could. Wish I could. Don't worry. One day, help me get there. The best thing that you can do is spread the word. That is the best thing that you can do. Trust me, one day I wish. ADT ASMR, yeah. There you go. So yeah, I'm super excited to be on Dan Simpson's show. I think that he's a professional, 100% professional. It is a pleasure, always, to be in his chat. It's a pleasure to communicate with him. And every time I go to his channel, it's nothing but chill vibes. Okay. In fact, I don't know, between there's so many chill like chill vibe streamers in terms of like lefty Twitch politics. I don't know. I aim and hope to be the chillest. That is my goal, to be the chillest. So in that sense, look out, Idan Simpson. Look out. Look out. So let's just go over these last two articles that we have here. Facebook threatens to start charging for apps if people block iPhone tracking. Oh yeah, this is the stage that we're at, folks. But I cheat with weed. Facebook big iPhone nightmare has arrived. iOS 14.5 comes with a privacy feature called App Tracking Transparency that forces all developers to ask permission before tracking users across apps and services. Like other social platforms, Facebook has been tracking users online for years without ever asking for consent. So yeah, that's totally cool. I'd like to reiterate that. Facebook has been tracking users online for years without ever asking for consent. But the company's sustained campaign against Apple in the past few months actually helped promote ATT. Facebook attacked Apple in print campaigns over the app privacy labels that rolled out over the winter, and then the company started a TV ad campaign to criticize ATT. Facebook claimed that in those ads that Apple's privacy protections will hurt small businesses, begging users to allow tracking to continue to serve personal ads. Please, let us keep accessing your data so that we can sell it and we can sell you stuff, okay? Please. While criticizing Apple's privacy features in iOS 14.5, Facebook said it will comply with the new requirements. Developers have no choice, of course. They have to display the prompt if they intend to track Apple users. I wonder if Droid is going to come up with its own. The iPhone maker has said that more than once that the feature doesn't block tracking, it just makes it mandatory for all companies to ask for consent. Wait. If it doesn't block tracking, why would you ask for consent in the first place? Wait. Also, blocking Facebook and other apps from tracking iPhone and iPad activity might not prevent all tracking. Companies might have other tools in place to fingerprint users without asking for permission first. How creepy is that? Okay, how creepy is that? Facebook is aware that iOS 14.5 could impact its advertising business and has informed partners of the changes ahead, but the company won't go down without a fight. Before showing Apple's prompt, Facebook will deliver its own message where it will suggest that it might start charging for apps if people block iPhone tracking. Yeah, so there's the giveaway, right? If it's free, you are the product, folks. If it's free, you are the product. Otherwise, you're gonna have to start paying a subscription, I bet, if things continue this way. If it's free, you are the product. We have known since early February that the new Facebook prompts would come to Facebook and Instagram experiences once iOS 14.5 rolled out. Facebook updated one of its blog posts with examples of what prompts will look like, and here are the proposed prompts again. And then they dangle the small business thing in front of you. Like a carrot. Why would I want more personalized ads? I don't care. In fact, I think the advertising industry is completely, like, horrible. That's just my opinion. Help keep Facebook free of charge. Again, an admission. An admission that you are the product, right? You are the product. As you can see, Facebook messages suggest that tracking users is what let its offer is what lets it offer its product free of charge. Yeah, of course. The implication is that the company might be forced to charge money for Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, the billion-dollar company. And users will start seeing new prompts on iPhones and iPads running iOS 14.5 or later. They're like threatening to bully you. That's what it is. Unbelievable. The reason why, it's probably just easier to track all your information instead of trying to do a massive subscription service. Instead of trying to do an actual subscription service, I bet that what they're going to do is continue to attempt to just be free reign to collect all your data. Hey, actually, Steak, how's it going? Long time no see, my friend. Hope you're doing all right. Other app developers who track users online, including iPhone and iPad, have already started showing the ATT prompts. All of them will look like the example above. Developers will explain why they want to track users. In addition to asking for permission, updates for apps that will use such tracking features will not be approved by Apple unless they include the prompt. You're not doing too great. I'm sorry to hear that, friend. I hope you're okay. What's up? Yeah, so this is the latest reason why Facebook needs to be broken up and why more scrutiny needs to come down on these companies and the massive amount of power they have in terms of how much information and data they collect on you. Oh, geez. Actually, Steak, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that, friend. Yeah, it's a shitstorm over here. I know. Yep. Wealthy may face up to 61% tax rate on inherited wealth under Biden plan. Wealthy families could face combined tax rates as much as 61% on inherited wealth under President Joe Biden's tax plan, according to a recent analysis in Tax Accountants. As part of his American Families Plan, Biden is proposing to nearly double the top tax rate on capital gains and eliminate a tax benefit on appreciated assets known as the step-up in basis, combining the estate tax, the new higher capital gains rate, and the repeal of the state step-up in basis could bring total effective marginal tax rates as high as 61%, according to an analysis from this tax foundation. The rate would be the highest in such rate in nearly a century, according to the Tax Policy Research Group. It's a big number, said Brad Sprong, KPMG partner and private enterprise tax leader. That is why we're telling our clients to be smart and start preparing now. So they really feel like this might be a thing, which I think it's moving in the right direction if so. If this is true, I think that this is a good step. You couldn't even get a bed in the hospital. Yikes. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Yeah, if you don't already, follow Ali Osher. It's unclear whether Biden's plan can pass Congress even with changes. Many moderate Democrats are likely to push back against his proposal to raise the capital gains rate to 39.6, as well as the plan to eliminate the step-up. Well, it's all useless if you can't eliminate that. It's all useless if you can't eliminate the step up in basis. What's more, only a small number of wealthy taxpayers would ever face a rate of 61%. Many others would look to avoid it through tax and estate planning. Yet accountants say many wealthy families are starting to consider the combined impacts of several parts of Biden's plan, which could add up to historically large tax rates. According to analysis by Scott Hodge and Garrett Watson at the Tax Foundation, families who own a business or a large amount of stock want to pass the assets to the heirs could see a dramatic tax change. Consider, for example, an entrepreneur who started a business decades ago and is now worth $100 million. Under the current tax regime, the business would pass to the family without a capital gains tax. Instead, the value of the business would be stepped up or adjusted to its current value, and the heirs would only pay a capital gain if they later sold at a higher valuation. Under the Biden plan, the family would immediately owe a capital gains tax of $42.96 million upon death, reflecting the capital gains rate of 39.6%, plus the net investment income tax of 3.8% minus $1 million exemption, according to the Tax Foundation. In other words, they would still be incredibly rich. In addition, if the estate tax remains unchanged, the family would also face an estate tax of 40% on this $57 million of the remaining value of the asset. Including exemptions, the estate tax would amount to $18.13 million. In other words, they'd be several tens of millions rich. The combined and owners of a business that created wealth of $100 million to begin with, and in their hands is a business that created $100 million in their hands. So, yeah, I don't want to hear it about how this is too high. The combined estate tax and capital gains tax liability would total $61.10 million, reflecting a combined effective tax rate of just over 61% on the original $100 million asset, according to the Tax Foundation. The rate could go even higher when including potential state capital gains and estate taxes. Imposing both estate tax and capital gains tax at death is highly unusual, if not unprecedented, tax experts said. If the step up is eliminated, the said Congress would likely eliminate or overhaul the estate tax. Congress has historically understood that it was bad policy to levy a capital gains tax and estate tax on the same assets, according to the Tax Foundation. Sprong recommends clients start modeling out their payments and assets to try to minimize the tax. He and others also recommend taking maximum gifts to family members sooner in case rates go higher. We're helping clients to do a lot of modeling and to figure out the best timing for recognizing gains. Yeah, okay. They know it's coming. They wouldn't be like planning for this if they didn't know some serious, maybe it won't be 61, but a serious increase in taxes is coming, I believe. If that's the case, if they're so freaked out that they're literally getting advisors to make sure that they can pay prepare for the future, I believe this might actually happen. Maybe not 61%, depends on what President Joe Manchin says. Depending on what President Joe Manchin says, it might not be 61%, but it will be a significant raise in taxes on the wealthy. In which case, I do agree with this. Biden doing actually something good? Yeah, I completely agree with this. This is fine. Did you watch the Destiny and Wolf debate? I watched most of it. I literally went, I went over the whole, discourse in terms of, I don't know if it was productive. And I also think, as I said earlier, I think a lot of this debate sphere is toxic. And I do believe there is a situation where debates can be good, but the situation is very toxic across the internet in terms of political discourse. In terms of political discourse, it's just like watching a school kid debate a teacher. I mean, it's kind of what it is. Man makes plan and President Joe Manchin laughs. That's what I said, KTS. If President Joe Manchin wants to go with this, fine. But I still think that there is a possibility that we are looking at increases in wealth taxes coming in, down the pipeline. I do think that I see wealth taxes coming down the pipeline. It may not be 61%, but I do feel like there is definitely a wealth tax coming. Long overdue and not nearly enough, in my opinion. Although wealth taxes are important, I'm not going to knock them. I think that if you really want to address income inequality, I think that you need to provide the tools that people need to level the playing field, right? I think that people need food, housing, education, healthcare. All of these things will do this, flatten out this immense income inequality. Did you watch the Bill Gates vaccine thing? No. What Bill Gates vaccine thing? He said the vaccine should be patented. I don't agree. Alright, folks, we did it. I think that that's not how it should be done. What happens in other countries does eventually affect us too. And I think that if you want to address this pandemic, now is not the time to do that, okay? Now is not the time to do that. I think that we need to send resources, and I believe the Biden administration is helping with the materials necessary to make the virus, and they are sending it to India. He said that the formula shouldn't be shared with other countries. I disagree. This is, out of all the situations, this is not the time to do that, right? Why would you hide? Why would you obfuscate the vaccine from other countries? Have you heard the resource movement started in Canada as a community of young people with wealth and or class privilege working towards the redistribution of wealth, land, and power? Okay. Many of them are fighting for higher taxes on their own wealth. There is a movement, I think, billionaires for or millionaires for higher taxes, which is a similar kind of thing going on here. But I don't know how successful that's going to be. Not that I disagree. Obviously, wealth should be taxed higher. The wealthy should be taxed higher. He wants to make money on dead bodies. He already does. He already does. Yeah, I believe that taxing the rich, more taxes on the rich are necessary, and I don't think it's a problem. However, I think a small group fighting for or pretending to fight for higher taxes, I don't know how far that's gonna go. I'm not gonna knock the effort though. I'm not gonna knock the effort. I think that they are that's a good idea. What we really need on top of a wealth tax, at least here, what we really need is serious reorganizing our priorities. I think that we need to look at cutting stuff like the military budget. I think that we need to vastly expand and provide a real social safety net, so that people do have food, housing, education, and healthcare. I think that will do a tremendous number on income inequality. And I think that if people have these opportunities, they will be able to thrive. It's just as simple as that. The same thing happened when India made a $10 AIDS drug, which was $1,000 in the US, and then the US sued that company. Yikes. That's horrifying. That's horrifying. That drug could have saved millions in Africa if the USA didn't interfere. Yeah. That's so sad. Alright folks, it is about to be 11:25. I do gotta start heading out. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me this morning and supported the show. Thank you, Alio, with the 14 biddies. I appreciate that. Hold on. Interesting. Okay, we'll definitely take a look at this, Memius. Real equality can never happen. The people on top will take whatever they can for themselves and will create poor people. Well, I mean, there's no reason why we can't put policies in place. There's no reason why we can't put policies in place to reduce income inequality. Have a good day, everyone. You have a good day. Everybody make sure you follow Alio, sure. But yes, I do want to give a couple of thank yous. Thank you so much, Alio, for the 14 biddies. Stupka, 8 months. Amazon Prime, thank you so much. Choke, with 100 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And little underscore boxes with the follow. Thank you so much. All of you guys are what makes this show go. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you head on over to the YouTubes and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like the stream. You do all that awesome stuff. You have a good day. Make sure you do all that awesome stuff. And of course, spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics. We are here Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And on Saturdays, Saturday Catterday. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. And as always, I love y'all and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. See ya! Alright, perfect timing, folks. Let's see who we can raid. Alright, let's head on over to Ben's channel, alright? Alright, folks, we're gonna raid into Bleep Pop Ben. Make sure you guys have, make sure you show Ben a awesome, a difficult truth love. As always, thank you guys. Go support Ben. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.